The four methodological rules. In part 2 of his Discourse on Method, René Descartes outlines 4 rules which he argues will combine the methodological strengths of logic, geometry, and algebra while being exempt from their faults. His first rule is to, and I quote, accept nothing as true which he did not clearly recognize to be so. That is to say, carefully to avoid precipitation and prejudice in judgments, and to accept in them nothing more than what was presented to my mind so clearly and distinctly that I could have no occasion to doubt it. As a general rule for anyone engaged in an intellectual endeavor, avoiding prejudices and judgment should always be of the highest concern. The rest of the rule does not work as a general intellectual precept, seeing as Descartes has set the bar so high as only accepting things as true which are, quote, clear and distinct. More on that later. Second rule, to divide up each of the difficulties that he examined into as many parts as possible, and as seemed requisite in order that it might be resolved in the best possible manner. Again, this methodological rule works well as a general intellectual strategy. Problems are most often best attacked by breaking them into discrete parts. This is obvious to anyone who's ever done mathematics, and seeing as Descartes is modeling his method on that of logic, geometry, and algebra, it makes perfect sense. For example, when finding the curvature of a function, it's best to compute the necessary derivatives before computing the necessary magnitudes, as doing both at the same time would muddy the waters and make even the best mathematician prone to error. Rule number 3. Descartes states that he will, quote, carry on his reflection in due order, commencing with objects that were the most simple and easy to understand, in order to rise little by little, or by degrees, to knowledge of the most complex, assuming an order, even a fictitious one, among those which do not follow a natural sequence relative to one another. For me, this goes hand in hand with the second rule. Once a problem is broken up into discrete parts, it usually makes sense to start with the simplest problems. Again, this can be applied easy when thinking about mathematics. When trying to solve a related rates problem, once every element that will be changing has been isolated, it wouldn't make any sense to attempt to solve the whole problem at once, nor would it make any sense to begin with the most complex derivative on the board. Making sense of a simpler derivative will shed light on the more complex ones, and the solving of the complex derivatives will lead to a correct insight on the problem as a whole. Descartes' final methodological rule states that he will, quote, in all cases, make enumerations so complete and reviews so general that he should be certain of having omitted nothing. Again, this rule works well as a general intellectual maxim. Be thorough. Enumerate your suppositions and results. Check and recheck your thinking. Omit nothing. These are Descartes' 4 methodological rules he embraced to root out errors in his thinking.